So today I wanted to start with a very crucial and very most widely used, one of the most widely used collection object, that is map. Okay, and how map operates and why it is not in the family of the collection interface. So one of the reasons which the experts say that why map doesn't come under the family of collection is to add an element into either of these. To add an element into a list or set or queue, which method do we use? Yes, anyone? Which method do we use to add an element in a list, set or queue? Am I not audible to anyone?
Yes, sir. Add all.
Add a single element. If I make,
Add method, sir.
so if I
Add
make
method.
Rajasthan, and in Rajasthan I want to add Jaipur. So which method will I use?
Add.
Dot add.
Add. And what will this add method take as an argument?
String way or number in a double inverted comma if a string.
Any object, right?
Right.
I had showed you all the signatures of these methods, right? The methods of the collection object. We had discussed them in detail, I guess. And I had shown you all the signatures of those methods. I'm looking for that slide in which I had shown you all the methods of object for the collection. So which method do we think we will use to add an element? Add method, right? What is the signature of the add method? What parameters it takes? Yeah, this one. So what parameters it takes and what does it return is my question. Yes, no, maybe.
Is take a object type and it shows
Returns a boolean, correct?
true and yes, the true and false boolean.
Yeah. So this takes any object. So this is a string object. This is an integer object. This is a student object. So how many parameters it is taking? One or two?
One.
One.
At
So,
a time.
but the map uses a different method. It uses a method called as put. So if I have a hash map, it to add an element into a hash map, we use the put method. Which method?
Put.
Put method.
And why not the add method? Why not hash map dot add?
Because add is
For one
object a class.
Because it's adding one.
Sir, for one object. To add one object, we use
I am
add.
also making a single entry. I am also only making a single entry in the hash map. I'm not adding.
No, sir. Only add one.
No. The reason being
Yes.
why I will not, because hash map doesn't extends
A
from
part
the
of
collection.
collection.
So this add function will be used only by those classes which are extending the collection interface, which are list, set, and queue. Is there a line over here? Did I draw this line?
No.
That means
It's
the
not
map
part of
interface
interface.
doesn't extend from the collection interface, correct?
Correct.
So that's why I will not use the add function, because add function will be used only by those classes which are under the umbrella of the collection interface, correct?
Yes, sir.
So here we use the put method. What do we use?
Put method.
So put method, okay? The reason we don't use add and we use put is because add takes only a single object and hash map is a collection of key value pairs. Collection of what?
key value.
Key value pair. So I have to give a key also and a value also. So how many parameters?
2.
Yes. And they both can be object. Key can also be an object and value can also be an object.
So
So
what do you mean by key here? What do you mean by key here?
Key means uniquely identify that record. So like the index is the key over here. So I can give my own index. So I can say hm.put and I can give the candidate name and candidate, let's say age. Okay. So I can say Alice is the key and I can give Alice age as 23.
So Alice is not a reference point.
Alice is the object and 23 also is an object. So my HM now is of what type? What is the key? What is the type of key and what is the type of value? String is the type of key.
String type.
An integer.
Is the type of value. So like this, you can generalize your hash map also. So you have to give it in key value pairs. Getting it?
No, sir. Can you please explain it a little more?
Yeah, no. Now my first concern was why it doesn't hash map come under the collection umbrella. Is that understood first? Tell me that.
Yes, sir. In collection interface, we can add only one object, but in the map, we use add 1 or 2 objects.
No, see, in the collection add, we have to pass only one single object as a parameter, which we are adding. So like rj.add s1 or rj.add jaipur, right? But in your hash map, you have to pass 2 objects, key and value. Getting? First difference. Second difference is hash map, to add an element, we use the add method. And in collection, to add an element, we use the add method. And in hash map, to add element, we use the put method. Are these 2 differences understood till now?
Sir,
Then-
why are you using put method? I mean,
No, I'm just telling, have you understood the differences till now? Why we are using put, we'll go in detail now.
okay, sir.
My only concern till now is to
Can
explain.
we write here more than 2 values in an argument, key value or other, like put double or so?
Any, you can change. Then you have to change this type over here, whatever.
Nee, only two argument it take, not more than 2.
Only 2, key and value. One key, one value. Value can be anything.
Okay.
So if you want to put multiple things in the value, put it in a class and put the object over here. We'll come in detail that later in the session.
Okay.
So is this understood why map doesn't fall under the collection framework, collection, this interface? So I give you all 2 differences. But because it doesn't use the add method, it uses the put method. The reason it uses the put method is because add uses only one single parameter and put has to put 2 parameters, key and the value. Okay,
Yes.
then internal working of a hash map also you should understand. Very important. What is it called as?
Internal working.
Okay, first let me create a hash map for you and then explain the internal working. So I'll come back to this slide later on. So let's just go to the programming window. And hash map will not preserve the keys. Hash map will not preserve the order of data like a set. The hash map, like a set, will not preserve order. Okay. So if I want to preserve the order, then what to do? Then use what?
Linked hash map. Linked hash map.
Linked
Sir,
hash map.
add list.
Then use
Linked hash map.
Then use what? What is the difference between hash set and linked hash set? Who will tell me?
Linked hash map.
Link has said
Hash
not
set is,
in
I mean, in
preserved
order.
order.
Sir,
and
hash
linked
set
hash
is,
set is the preserved order.
Yes, Shabana.
Sir, linked hash set is not a preserved order, and linked hash set is the preserved order.
Both don't preserve order you're selling.
What, sir?
I heard linked hash set in both the cases.
Yes.
But sir, the
Say
first one is
slowly.
not
So hash set doesn't preserve
preserved
the
order.
order, and linked hash set preserves the order, correct?
Yes.
Right, sir.
So that is the same over here also. Hash map and linked hash map. So hash map will not preserve the order of keys, will not preserve order of keys. So, but the linked hash map will preserve the order. Okay, let's take a programming example to explain. Then things should be clear. Okay. So this is yesterday where we had left at. So let me add one more here only. Hash map demo. Okay, I add the main method over here. So now tell me hash map. Okay, can I just say this? That map hash map equals to new hash map. Is this permissible?
Yes, sir. Permissible, sir. Map is
Yes, sir.
Rather, it is recommended, not permissible. It is advised that we use this.
okay.
Okay, now in the hash map, I want to add the student name with his mobile number. Okay. I want to add student name with mobile number. So I will say hash map dot add, correct? Ataullah?
No, sir. Hash map dot add use नहीं होगा. Then we use
Use add,
we
right?
put
Add element. Yes, so add is not here. Add is not there. We will use dot.
use put object.
What is the key you want to? So I want to have the student names as key. And I want to have the mobile numbers as their value.
Yes, sir.
Getting it?
Yes,
So
sir.
why don't I just generalize this? That it is a map of what? Key is of what?
String type.
And
Typecasting. You mentioned here a typecasting string and integer long whatever.
method put is not applicable for argument string int. Okay, this is a long. What if I add a L after that then? There's no need to add a L, we'll keep an integer. Okay.
Solutions or red line. Integer.
Okay.
Wrapper class. Then, sir, we use the wrapper class of long also we can use here na, in place of integer, capital L and long.
Yeah, so we'll keep the wrapper class only and then we'll put the L over here.
Then we use L.
You put a L
Yes.
after the long and you put a F after the float. Now I add one more entry.
Then
Then I add one more entry. Now if I display this hash map, how will it display? And hash map, how does it display the list? How does it display the list when I try to display a list? Have you observed?
yes, sir. Hash map dot and get dot get.
Shabana, you first
Yes.
understand and hear the question very clearly.
Okay, sorry. Here.
In your mind, and then you start narrating the answer based on the image what you have created. I am telling how will you identify that this is a list and how will you identify it is a map from the output. If I give you output,
Okay.
how will you identify this is a list and this is a map? So list will always come in square brackets, will come in
Square bracket.
whatever is in square bracket is a
It's called a list.
List. And whatever will come in curly bracket is a map. Okay. So
Yes.
if I have a array list, okay, students, whatever name you want to give to the array list, is new array list.
Yes, sir.
And in this array list, I add the details of 3 students. Okay, it is a list of strings.
Mm.
Always try to generalize what you're trying to do.
Yes, the typecast.
And in this, now if I say student dot add Alice, Ben, and Charles. So tell me, what should be the output when I display student? How
When
should
you
be the
display
output?
a student, it shows a Alice.
I have 3 entries. I'm making this no.
Yes, the square bracket and shows a Alice, comma, Ben, comma, Charles.
Order maintained.
Yes, sir. Or border maintained, sir, in case of the array list.
If I say student, display student. So always remember, when you're displaying a list, it will always come in a square bracket.
Yes, sir.
This will be the elements of the list.
Sir,
Comma,
it's not showing in double inverted comma. It directly shows, I think.
directly it will show Alice, Ben, Charles, right?
Yes.
In the output, it will not show double quotes. Output will directly show you the strings. Yes. But they will be comma separated. They will be what?
Yes,
Comma separated values in a square bracket.
right.
Now I'm telling, if I were to display
Mm.
this hash map,
Okay. If a hash map start with curly braces, then it shows in curly braces
where
a
it is
name
separated.
Alice. Yes, randomly, sir. It's not maintained order, I think.
How will this be displayed? So this will be displayed
In
in
a
the
curly braces,
and then the
shows
key
a
and
values.
value. Key and value. What is the key?
Alice.
And colon in between. Colon and then the value.
So it shows randomly shows, na sir. It's not a fixed key.
Yeah. So it can come Alice.
Okay.
Come Ben then after that, right? 9890, Ben is 555666, and then comma, and then it will show Dom colon 9890333444. So this is what I'm trying to say, how to differentiate by just looking at the data, what type of data it is. So an array or an array list will always be shown in square brackets, and your map will be shown in which bracket? So this can also be shown in one single line also. I just made it easier for you. It can also be done like this. This can also be done like this. So you have to visualize.
Yes.
That this is a map. So and curly brackets at the start and curly bracket at the end. So now if I try to display the hash map, this is how it should display. Colon or equal to in between the key and value. What is between the key and the value? Equal to a colon.
Yes.
Hmm?
Column, sir.
And after that, comma.
Comma.
After
Comma.
pair.
Separation.
There a comma. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Come here and check this out and run as Java application and see how the output is coming. You see this? Is it showing
Yes,
equal
sir.
to over here? It is showing.
Okay.
The map is showing equal to. That is a JSON which shows colon. So if you have it in a JSON format, it will show colon. Hash map is showing what? What is the hash map showing?
Equal to
Equal to.
opposite matlab equal to in place of colon.
Yes, we have to do equal to. So this format which I showed, no, this is a JSON format. This is also very important to understand. Because the reason why I'm saying is that input will come in a JSON format, and you have to receive that input and store it in a hash map. So it's very simple. This is your JSON format, and this is your hash map. So you know how to relate with it. It's very simple. Here, what is there over here in hash map? Hash map will have equal. So JSON data and hash map data are pretty similar in understanding. So if you understand the hash map, JSON understanding is not a big problem. And in the entire enterprise application, in your enterprise application, you will see a lot of JSON. So when our actual project, real world project starts, then you will see a lot of JSON being used. So now, was the order maintained?
JSON include
Yeah,
in our content, sir.
I'll be back.
JSON also include, na sir?
Yes, Miss, tell me.
Sir, I asked, sir, JSON content is also include, na sir, in our content?
Yes. JSON is meant. Without JSON, JSON is the fuel. We are teaching you to make the car, and JSON is the fuel. Okay, so without the fuel, the car won't work.
Okay.
That has to be taught. That is mandatory. And maybe these senior guys like Sartaj Bhai or Shanawaz Bhai can
Mhm.
add more content in that, so they can
Okay.
show their exposure also of how they are working with JSONs. So if you want to highlight anything to the management, you all can raise this point that we want to go into real world examples of JSON. Umar sir has taught us the academic examples, but we were interested in more corporate examples and the real world examples in the application where JSON is and hash maps are used. So if you all can arrange for a session of that nature, would be great. Okay, Shabana,
Okay,
so
sir.
you can
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
compose this message and send it to the management, and then
Okay, sir.
I'll join those sessions, because I also am curious to see that how these guys are working. Every company has different applications, so my has a different. They might be having a different use cases.
Mhm.
A lot of things we'll get to learn from them also.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
order is maintained or not?
Not, sir.
But now if I want order maintained, then so all changes have to just come and make a change over here. That's all. Right. So this is the beauty of PP new C. This is the beauty of what?
Map.
PP, not map. A parent class reference is pointing to child class object, correct?
Okay.
So I did not change the left hand side at all. I just changed the implementation class, and now this will work fine. Now what will be the output? Can anyone predict the output now?
Yes.
What is the output?
Sir, start with Alice and
Alice,
contact
Dom,
number
Ben.
and Dom and Ben.
Yes, output I will know, because linked hash set
Is the
will
link? Yes, sir.
preserve
It's
the order of
maintained
insertion.
preserved order. Oh.
And now if I want it in alphabetical order of the keys, then
Yes, sir.
if I want alphabetical order of the keys, Alice, Ben, Dom.
Then we use a short command.
Huh? Amir is there?
HashMap dot short.
No, we have tree map. What we have?
Tree map.
Remember, like we had tree set
Okay.
in ascending order, correct? Similarly, we have which class? Is it visible my screen to you all?
Yes, sir.
So what does tree map do?
Yes.
It arranges them in the ascending order of the keys. So now if I say tree map, what is the difference you will see?
It's
Yes,
it's automatically
not tree
set.
map, tree map.
Yes, sir.
So what will be the output now?
Is A for Ballis, Ban, and Dom.
Got it? So now I want you to understand the internal working as to what is happening internally when I put. Okay, and similarly now this is like the index and this is the value. Okay. So if I want to display 9890011122L, what will I say? Hashmap dot what? Dot get, right?
Yes.
And you what is spelling? And you give the key, it gives the value. You give the key, it gives the. So if I say Alice, it will give me the value of Alice. What is the value of Alice?
0.
Getting it?
Is
Right? Typing this. So how internally a hash map works, let's understand that. Okay. So a hash map has buckets. Okay. Okay. What are the methods of the object class? What are the methods of
Primitive and non-primitive.
yes? My question is, what are the methods of the object class? Have you all studied object class?
Primitive or non-primitive?
No. This object class is the great grandparent class of all the classes in Java. All the
Yes, sir.
classes inherit from the object class.
Correct.
What methods does this class contain? If you all ever tried to explore this class.
So
I'll name a few. It contains the toString method. Okay. It contains the destructor, which is the finalize.
equal correct method equals.
Equals method.
Yes.
Then it contains some of the multi-threading synchronization methods, such as wait, notify all. What else does this contain? Clone method, right? It also contains a hash code method. This is what I wanted to highlight. Which method? Which method?
Hash code.
Hash code. This one of the methods of the object class is a hash code. And on all the objects, whether they are inbuilt or whether they are all the classes, whether they are inbuilt or user defined, they extend from the object class internally. So when I try to put something in a hash map, when I try to execute this statement, hashmap.put Alice. Okay. This is an object of string, correct? So what it will do is, it will take the reference of that. Reference means where this is stored. So wherever Alice is stored, and the
So in HashMap, it is supposed to be the key.
Yeah, key. It will be the reference of the key. So let's say there was the alice of address is 1000, some address. Okay, so here this hash code has to interact with some native methods. Native methods means methods of C, C++, because Java doesn't deal with pointers, correct? Java doesn't deal with pointers. So native methods are C or C++ methods will interact, which will give the address of that object. So it will take the address of the key, take the address of the, yes, step 1. What will it take? The address of the key and pass that address to the hash code method. Which method?
Hash code method.
And that, okay, so step 2, pass the address of the key object to the hash code method. That will generate the hash code. Okay, so this hash code method will generate a hash code. And now once this hash code is generated, let's say it at least hash code came 130. Okay, now from this 130 it will generate a index, a bucket index. Generate a bucket index from the hash code. And that bucket index is within the range 0 to 15, because by default it has 16 buckets. So what I mean by 16 buckets is the hash code, the hash map has 16 such buckets. So 8 and 8, 4, 4. Okay. Let's assuming I'm taking only 8 buckets hash map. I'm taking only a 8 bucket hash map. By default it has 16. So what are the indexes of these buckets now? This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4. So like this, it has 16 of them. Okay, I'm giving an example of only 8 due to this space constraint. 16 would become too long. So in our example case, let's take that it has given you a hash code between 0 to 8. The bucket index between 0 to 8. So let's say randomly it generated 0 to 7, right? So it generated 3, let's say. The bucket index which came, let's say it gave you 3. So what it will do is it will go at index 3 and store this object over there like this. So the key, the value, and the hash code and address of the next in this list. So this object will go to key 3 and will be stored over there. So Alice, key, the value, whatever was the value, 989, blah, blah, blah. The hash code which is generated was 130. It is some alphanumeric number. And the address of the next. Now there is no next over here, so it will point to null. There is nothing. Now when I try to say hashmap.put DOM and this, what will it do first? Address of the key. Pass the address of the key to the hash code method. That will generate a hash code. Let's say for DOM, it generated a hash code 159. And now that 159, I got which bucket it should go to from 0 to 7. Let's say it gave bucket number 6. So this object will now be stored in bucket number 6. Okay, and this entry, let's say this entry address was 7777 was the address of this entry in memory. So bucket number 3 will point to 777. That the first object in this bucket is over here. So it will be linked over here. Now the next object has got a bucket index of 6. So that will be stored in 6. And whatever is the detail will be put over there. So key is there is no other node after this. It will be null. Address of this will, let's say, take any address, whatever you have in mind. Let's say I have 8888 in mind, whatever. So it will be stored at this index. Which is this object? This object is Ben. Okay. Whatever is the value of Ben. Okay. So what was DOM rather, right? Let's take Ben. So whatever is the value 6661 mobile number. At the end, hash code generated was 159. And as there is no other element after it, it is showing null. So like this, it will store the in a bucket format. Next number, let's say I have DOM coming in, and DOM's hash code, let's say, generated was 174. And 174 also generated a bucket of 3. So it will go to the third bucket. Okay, there is no null. So if there is nothing over here, means it is null. That the no object has been added over here. So it is pointing to null. So it will go and check that third bucket, is it null? If it is null, just add the object over there and link it. But now as third bucket is not null, it will go in that object and then check. Okay, so by default, it will have all nulls. Okay. 6 has 8888, right? So now it is not null. 6 is pointing to 888 and this is null. So now the index generated for DOM also is 3. So it goes to 3. It is not null. It comes over here and checks. Is this the key matching? Is Alice matching with DOM? Not matching. Then it goes ahead. And as it has reached null over here, now it will create the entry over here and link it. So that entry will be created over here. Key is DOM. Whatever is the address, hash code generated was 159 174, right? Two objects can have the same hash code at times. The hash code might get duplicated. It is what 174. And there's nothing at it. And this address is, let's say, 9999. Every entry will have a unique address. And now, as this is in this bucket, this null will be removed. And this null is pointing to now 999. And this linkage has been done. It has linked to this. This has been linked to this. Who understood this? How it stores elements in a hash map? Yes, anyone understood this? Amir, Shabana, Farooq, Ataullah?
Sorry, sir, I can't understand, sir.
Not understood? See,
No,
I'll
sir.
come all over again. Yeah, it's a bit complex. I realize that. See, how elements are stored in a hash map. The question is, what is the question? How elements are stored and retrieved in HashMap. Who spelled it right? Okay, let it be. That's not a concern. So, first, what am I putting, Shabana, over here? What are we putting in the hash map? First entry.
Alice and contact number.
Contact number. Okay.
Key
So
is
which
the
is the
value.
key? Which is the value?
Alice is the
Alice
key.
is a
and
key
number-
and yes, the contact is a value.
So this is the key, right?
Yes, sir.
So this key is an object, correct?
Yes, sir.
So object means there should be some address to it.
Yes, sir.
When we are doing string pool. So this key, this is a object, right?
Right, sir.
Some address to it.
Hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is called as address. But as and in, if you remember, if you have learned C, it is a pointer concept is there, right?
Yes, sir. C
So pointer points to
plus
the
plus.
the object, correct?
Yes, sir. C plus plus
C also
concept, no, sir, pointer.
pointer is there, but in Java there is no pointer concept.
Okay.
What Java will do is it will go to the address of the key, right? This is the address of the key.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it will go to the address of the key and pass this address of the key to the which function?
Hash code.
Hash code function. And the hash code function will generate a hash code. Will generate a
Hash code.
any random number it will generate. So what number got generated?
Example 130.
130 got generated. For Alice, 130. Okay. For
Yes,
Alice
sir.
object, the hash code was 130.
Yeah.
Now this 130 from the hash code, it will generate a bucket index. It will generate a
Bucket index.
the hash code. The hash map is a hash map doesn't store data at once. It stores the data in different buckets. Okay.
Yes.
Like how we store the files in different shelf. Remember? So if you are into office management and this is the shelf you have. So will you store all the file under one shelf or you will segregate them? So let's say 2019 and 20 file. You will store in this shelf. Then 2020, 21 you will store in this shelf. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And 2022 you will store in this shelf, academic year or financial year. Like this you will have different shelves, correct?
Yes, sir.
So HashMap also follows the same thing. It doesn't store all the object at one place. It stores them in different buckets. So now from this hash code, which bucket index got generated internally for Alice? Which bucket index got generated? 3, right? Because we have eight buckets, 0 to 7. In real world, it has 16 buckets, 0 to 15. Okay.
How you know the range is a 3?
Yeah, that internally it is given. How do I know it is 130? How do I know it is 1000? I don't know, right? I'm just assuming.
Assuming what is the 3, sir, right?
Internally, yeah, we're just internally assuming that it is the bucket might be 3 for Alice. It's all internal calculation happens. We don't have to peep into that. We just have to
Okay.
visualize what is happening. So what was the hash code for Alice?
130
And then
hash
the
code.
hash code, what bucket index was generated for Alice internally?
I think 3.
3. So it will take that object, which is Alice and 9890111222, and
Okay.
store it. So this is the key. This is
This is
the
the value.
value. This is the
And this is hash code.
and this is the address of the next entry. Address of the
Next.
next entry. So it is null. If there is no entry, it will be null. Like, is there any entry over here in?
So, sir, it's work like as a linked list, sir. Linked
Yes,
list
it is a
carry
linked
a
list.
address of next one.
The linked list. So you have to understand linked list before understanding this hash map. And that this is the address of the next entry.
Okay.
Address of next
Uh.
entry. Okay. So now, as of now, there is only one single entry at bucket 6. There is only a single entry at bucket 6. So it is showing over here null. Then I came to Ben. Let's say I added second as Ben. It
Sir,
went as
I'm confused is that why we use hash code here. Firstly, sir, please explain, sir, why we use hash code.
to store. See, it will not store the data all at once. So if I have multiple objects, it will not store all the objects at one place. Hash map. To increase the efficiency of the search and to increase the efficiency of the sorting and searching in a hash map, it uses this technique of storing the data in different buckets.
But this technique is not called the bucket or the hash code.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the segregating the objects is basically from the bucket or from the hash code.
That technique is called as hashing. Hashing means you take a complex number and you convert that into a small number. See, I'll give you example of where we can use hashing in real world. If I go to the shopping mall, so still nowadays, I guess some malls still observe this, that I'm not supposed to carry my handbag inside the mall. I'll have to deposit my handbag or whatever bag I'm carrying at the security. Okay. So the security has a shelf in which he stores all the handbags or all the bags or helmet. Anyone is carrying a helmet. So it will not allow that person to take all these belongings inside. So he has a shelf with him, the security. And let's say the shelf has numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. There is a 9 shelf also. Let's keep it. There's one more shelf, 9 else. Go to X to understand the example. Now, how many shelves does he have? How many shelves are there?
So 10.
10 shelves. So do you think only 10 customers will visit the mall?
No.
What is the footfall in a mall if it's a weekend?
100 or maybe 1,000.
1,000. Okay, maybe 10,000 also, right?
Right.
So he has 10,000 coupons or tokens.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or he has a machine over there which randomly generates a slip.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't have any hard-coded metallic coupons. He has a machine over there. He clicks on next and a receipt is generated with the next token, right? So let's say a customer comes 761. He gets token number 761 and he is carrying a bag. So security will take the bag from him and issue him a token that after your shopping is completed, please come back here, give us the token and we'll give you the bag, right? So if this green color bag was of this token 761, now where will the security put this bag? So security has a simple logic. Just read the last digit of the token. Read what?
1.
So here he is using a hash function. The security is using a very simple hash function. And whatever is the token number, mod it by 10. Mod it by, what does mod 10 give you? What does
10.
mod 10 give you? You guys haven't practiced, looks like, for ages. So if I have 761 and I take 10,
Understand, sir. Mode means the remainder part.
yeah, so what is it? 7, 10, 76, right?
Yes, the last is the 1 is remainder, sir. The answer is the 1.
So 760 and answer will be what?
1, sir. We take 1 only.
So the security uses this simple hash function. Take the token, mod it with 10. What does it give you? Mod 10.
1.
Place that bag in that shelf. So this green bag goes in which shelf?
1.
So now security, when he is back and he issues the token, security directly will go to shelf 1 and search it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now is he the only person who will get token with the last digit as 1? Let's
No.
say one more person comes, the purple, maroon person, and he gets a token 891. Now,
Yes, sir.
where will this bag go now? This maroon bag?
It's also a 1
This also
position.
will go in token 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So like this, simple. So in the 10 shelves, he can arrange customer. So if a customer comes 98643, gets the token number this. So today is a weekend and we are having around 1 lakh customers. Okay, we are having 1 million customers. So this customer walks in. Now where will he put his bag?
Last digits are 3.
Three.
So 3. Yes,
If
sir.
he's carrying a black bag, then where will this black bag go?
3, sir.
This is your hashing function. Okay, so you'll put the bag over here. Once the customer comes and presents the token, you will directly search in which shelf?
Last digit numbers.
You are searching in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is this helping the security guard? Is it not retrieving data faster and storing data faster? Is it not the performance of the guard increasing by this hash function? If he would not have maintained these buckets and maintained one single shelf, and there he would dump
create ambiguity.
the bags of everyone, the blue bag also, green bag also. And if there are 10,000 or 1 million customers, how much time would it take to fetch the bags?
Lots of time.
You got the logic of hashing, Shabana?
Yes, sir.
So that is why, so in a hash map in the real world, you will not store 3 objects or 30 objects. You will at times store 3 million objects. How many will you store? A real world data will have multiple data, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it, so like this, it has 16 buckets. You can make it 32 buckets also. Okay. You can make 64 buckets also. So like this, it will just first take the key, go to the address of the key, generate a hash code, and then from the hash code, in which bucket that object should go, it will generate the bucket code, and then store that bucket, that object in that bucket over there. Understood, Shabana?
Sir, I try to understand this logic.
So at least try to understand what I'm trying to tell. That, okay, sir, what I'm trying to explain, I got. Have you got what I'm trying to explain? Now forget
Yes.
how it is dealing with the internals of it, how it is generating the code, how it is generating the bucket. Forget about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got the overview how it is working. So now if I add a element, let's say Charles, okay? I say over here hashmap dot put Charles. Hashmap dot put, and the key I give is Charles, and whatever mobile number Charles has, I give that mobile number. Okay, 9822 blah 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 blah. Now what will happen? It will take the reference of Charles, the address of Charles, generate a hash code. Let's say hash code generated was 218. Now what will it do with 218? Generate a bucket. Let's say the bucket got generated was 1. Now what to do?
Store one position.
Store the object of
One position.
Charles at. Why will it store directly at over here? Because this is null, right?
Yes, sir.
If it is null, directly store it over there. Don't go any further. So directly it will store it over there. Key.
So HashMap support to override method also.
Hmm? Which method?
Override method also supported hash.
Override means?
Means ki if there is a value and we want to store the object in place of this value, is it possible? Like 777 is written here and Charles is stored at place of Alice, in place of Alice.
No, I'll show you what we do over there. See, what I'll tell you a different use case, which might help you understand the clarity. And now whatever the address of Charles, whatever address Charles got, 2134 2315, this 2315 will be now put over here. This will not be null anymore, and it will point to that object, the first object. Now if I try to add, if I try to add this entry, tell me what will happen. If I try to add hashmap dot put and DOM and whatever mobile number he has. Now what do you think will happen over here? It will take the key of DOM.
Empty place.
It will take the key of DOM. Okay. Generate a hash code. It will get 174. 174 will generate a bucket. Okay, it will give bucket 3. And now it will go in bucket 3 and check, is there any key by DOM? Is there a key by DOM? Is Alice DOM? It is going in bucket 3, correct? So it will check at every key. Is it matching with the new key? Is Alice matching with DOM?
No.
Then it'll come ahead. Is DOM
No, sir.
matching with DOM?
No.
Yes, why not? Is DOM matching with DOM?
Yes.
What is making
Yes,
it?
sir. DOM matching with DOM, sir. DOM matching with
It
DOM.
will just replace with the
Because
value. It will just replace the value over there. It will not create a new
sir,
entry.
because
It will just replace the value. It will not create a new entry. Am I understood? So this is how it uses
Yes.
this hash key
okay.
to store and retrieve the data. Okay. So now if I go and say hashmap dot get, and if I say Alice, what will it do?
So it print us number 3777 address and shows Alice detail and with DOM.
Huh?
Alice details, sir. Only Alice
What
detail.
Alice details?
The Alice 989
It will
key and value also.
So internally, how it is doing? Internally, it is going and getting the hash code of this, which is 130. Then getting the bucket. Bucket is 3. And it is going in third bucket and then comparing. Is there any key with this? Alice with Alice found.
Yes, sir.
And then return me the value. As simple as.
Okay.
So internally, how it is working, I'm showing the internal working. And then one more biggest advantage of this is, okay, then we have one synchronized hash map. What we have? There is a hash map by the term what as what? What did I
Synchronized.
just say? Synchronized. What does synchronized mean? Yesterday I said I explained that to you all.
Synchronize is like the barrier, sir. Set a barrier.
Only one thread can access at one time, right? Only one thread can access that object at one time. That is synchronized. So if it is not synchronized, so is array list synchronized? Only vector is synchronized, right? In the list framework, which is a synchronized class,
Vector.
is array list and linked list synchronized?
No, it's not
Vector is
synchronized.
synchronized, right? So what happens when multiple threads are accessing the vector object? What happens? So I have a vector object, vector v1. I showed this yesterday. It is not even.
Yes, sir, you showed
I
that.
showed this example.
But unfortunately, I'm not going on this video because I have a fever, sir. So I can't check it.
So if I have 3 objects, T1, T2, T3, can they simultaneously access this vector object? Because
No, sir.
parallelly, threads run parallelly. So can these threads access the object simultaneously parallelly? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, Amir,
No,
what-
sir. One thread at one time.
Simultaneously, sir, it's no, sir. No, sir, it's not a possible.
And if I have
Threading one time, sir,
and if I
as
have
you
an
say,
array
sir,
list
it's
object,
synchronized.
and if I have an array list object, then now can these 3 threads access the array list object simultaneously?
No, sir. Only vector support na, as you say, sir.
Amir, can the multiple threads access the array list object simultaneously? Yes, because array list is non-synchronized.
Yes, sir.
Array list is
Okay.
not synchronized.
Okay.
So
Yes.
multiple threads can access it simultaneously.
Mm,
But vector is,
Non-synchronized. Synchronize.
so what happens with that? What happens when it is synchronized? Only one
Synchronize.
thread can access it.
Because one thread access.
So if T1 is accessing them, what happens to T2 and T3? They will wait for their turn out.
Yes. One.
Correct? They will wait for their turn outside.
Wait for the. Yes, sir. Wait for its turn.
So now who is
Yes.
accessing the object? Which thread is accessing the object?
T1.
T1.
Right.
So whichever thread is accessing the object has to acquire a lock, has to acquire a,
T1, sir. T1 is
yeah,
accessing.
so whichever thread is accessing the object has to acquire a lock. So lock is with which thread?
Lock.
P1.
T1. So T1 is accessing it. Now once T1 completes its work, it will release the lock and T1 will go out. And now who can access this? So thread scheduler will give the lock to any one of the threads. So let's say he gives
Unlock.
it to T3. The thread scheduler gives the lock to which object?
T2 will come.
No, not necessary. The thread scheduler can give to any thread. So let's say it is given to T3.
Yes, okay. T3, okay.
So now who has the lock?
T3.
V.
So the thread which has the lock can only access the object, correct? And here multiple threads can access the object, correct? So in a hash map, what we can do is, if
Yes, sir.
I synchronize the hash map, if I synchronize the hash map, then this is one whole hash map object, correct? All these are stored in one object, right? Alice, Ben, Charles, Dom are stored in which object? One single hash map object. This is the hash map object. Hash map. Yes or no? So now if I say that only one thread can access it, then if T1 wants to access and T1 is working on, let's say, bucket number 3, but still it is locking the entire hash map. So T2 and T3, they want to work on different bucket, but still it will not allow them. You are getting what I'm trying to say? I am trying to say, if I synchronize the hash map, so one thread can access it at one time. So if that thread which has got the access is T1, it will lock the entire object, but T1 is working on bucket number 3. And T2 and T3, T2 wants to work on bucket number 1. T2 wants to work on bucket number 1. T3 wants to work on bucket number 6. But will they be allowed access? Will T2 and T3 be allowed access as long as T1 is working?
Hello.
So let's come to the practicals. I guess it's going to bounce us for you all. HashMap. So at least I am in the impression that you have at least understood internally something what's happened in the hash map. Okay. So if you don't want to go into inner details, you can forget that. Once we are going to later on, we can come to this topic. So as of now, let's come back to our basic programming. So we are putting key value, correct? This you have got. Anyone struggling with this much?
No, no, sir.
And then I display the hash map. So when I display the hash map, it displays me in a curly bracket.
Curly braces.
With the key equal to value, comma, key equal to value, and so if I use hash map, it is unordered. If I use linked hash map, it is ordered. And if I use tree map, it is ascending order, correct? So far, so good.
Ascending order, yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So far, so good. Now, what I wanted to show you all is, I want the details of 100-meter race. And these are the students who have come first, second, and third. So in the 100-meter race, these are the students who have come first, second, and third. I want to store their names. So first, second, and third. So I will say who came first, who came second, and who came third. So Alice came first. Ben came second. And Charles came third. So now what changes do I have to make in the
So line number 10 and line number 11, write a hash map in place of M100 in place of hash map.
Okay. Next.
11 also.
Okay. Next, what?
Okay.
I'll just come back over here. So those guys who are watching the video later on should not be left out. So I'll just complete the topic for their sake. So if I have a single hash map, there will be one single lock for the entire object. And then one thread can only access that. Other threads will be waiting, even though those threads want to work on a different bucket. But if I have a synchronized hash map, this is hash map, right? So there's one
Yes.
class called as synchronized hash. How we have linked hash map, tree map. Similarly, we also have a which hash map? Synchronized hash map. Okay, this also is a class. So what happens when I have a synchronized hash map is the number of buckets we have, those many threads can operate parallelly. So there will not be a lock to the object as a whole. There won't be one lock for the object. There will be lock for per bucket. So T3 is accessing bucket 3. So T3 will only lock bucket 3. So T3 has acquired the lock only on this bucket. So if T2 wants to work on bucket number 1, then T2 can acquire the lock over there also. So I can have parallel threads working on my synchronized hash map. So it will increase the speed of my application. So there is no waiting time. And if T2 wants to work on bucket number 6, it can acquire the lock on bucket number 6. So the concurrency level increases. Okay, now if there is a thread T4, which also wishes to work on T2, then T4 will have to wait. T4 will have to wait because 6 is locked with T2. Okay, now they have come to even a different level that we can split. So if there is a lock, there's a thread T4 which wants to work on bucket number 3, and bucket number 3 already T3 is working. So it will split this into 2 halves also. This also technology has evolved. It will split the bucket into 2 halves. Give half of it to T3 and half of it to T4. This also can be possible. So these are all advanced terms which I don't think so you all should be learning right now. But if you all get a heads up on it, at least the terms if you understand, and then later on Google for yourself. Okay, I heard this term, synchronized hash map. So like this, now T3 can work on the left part of the bucket and T4 can work on the right part of the bucket. So if I have 8 buckets, I can still level of 16, and I can have 16 parallel threads running on it. So 2 threads running on each bucket on the left and the right side. So I just recorded this for those who later on want to see the video. Okay. Now what else do I have to make changes in this? It's a very prominent change because see, it is not allowing me to put. You guys aren't observing things. Looks like a weekend is too. Amir, I am not able to hear Amir today. Every week I have a session with the management wherein I give feedback of the performance of each candidate. And that is normally on a weekend.
Sir, I have some internet issue today.
Yes.
So
What is the issue over here? Why is it not allowing me to put this?
so many times getting logged out.
Yes. Why is it not allowing me to put first and Alice, second Ben, and third Charles? Why? Reason?
Because sir, first is K and the comma after value. That's why it's showing you.
So what is the problem? So what changes do I have to make over here? Okay, tell me that.
So long type entry should be there.
Value
Instead
of type what?
String.
String, yes, sir.
So now if I sys out this, it should give me the data. Okay.
Alice.
Now I want to display the name of the person who has come first. I want to display the name of the person who has come first. What will I say? Get me from M100 or get me the key first. So who has
Yes.
come first?
Alice.
And then we use the tree hash map.
Means you get it. I am telling you the name of the person who has come first. The name of the person who has come first. So how in an array you give the index, it will give you the value. In a hash map, you give the key, it will give you the value. So you give the key. So you want get
Yes, sir.
of this key. What will it give you?
Alice.
The value of that, which is Alice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Value
now
of
I want to, the person who has come first, I want to store his name, roll number, and percentage also. Now what to do?
Sir, in line number 6,
Hmm?
string, comma, roll number, sorry, string, comma, double.
No. What will
No,
do?
string, comma, integer, comma,
No.
double.
Only two argument it takes, key and value.
Okay.
That's all. No more than two parameters.
No more than two.
What will I'll do is I go to the
Okay.
class student we have, correct?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So what I can do is I can say that first and the value will be a student class object. Okay.
We are passing here object. Okay, sir.
Object here. And so here we will not say Alice, we will say new student.
New student.
And I will say
Yes.
101
Got it, sir.
Alice. And
Parameterized constructor. Yes.
and for Ben, I will not say Ben because now it is an object. 102 Ben and 88.5. And here I will not say Charles. I will say 103 and Charles and 98.5. And now if I say get me the first, what will it give me? You give me the key, I give you the value. So I am
Yes, sir.
giving the key to it, right? First.
Yes, first 101 Alice
Should be that
78.5.
object, right?
Yes, sir. Object. Correct.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
So can you display object? It will display the hex code of that. It will display the hash code of that object. If I run this, it will not display the object, it will display the hash code of the object. Getting it?
Mm-hmm.
But what you want to display? The roll number, name, and percentage, correct?
Yes, sir. For that, we have to use
It
get
display
function.
reference.
Yes, you have to use the get function. Absolutely correct.
Yes.
So what you do over here, Amir? Dot
Dot
Get.
get
S.
roll. Yes, S name.
So of this object, I want what? S name. So run
S name.
application. Now you will get Alice.
Yes, sir. Similarly for roll number and percentage.
So you can do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I just say this, so what am I trying to display? What
Key.
am I trying to display?
Only key.
I am
Get
trying to display
first
the
name.
object. And when I
Yes.
display the object, what does it display me? See, I am saying this. I am trying to say this. I am saying that I make object student S1 is new student. Okay. I give whatever name to it, whatever roll number name to it, and whatever percentage to it. Now, have you all ever tried doing this?
Yes.
What will this display me?
It display a 101. Yes. So it's this display a 111 111 Virat 98.7.
Are you sure?
No, not at all.
Like
Display
No.
the hex code,
in
hash
it's
code of that object.
Yes, sir.
It will display the
mhm.
hash code of that object. Getting?
Yes.
So what if you want and print ln displays data in which format? String format. Which format?
String format.
So what mechanism do you need? Okay, I'll give you an example to explain this. There, see, I did this yesterday with you all. I don't understand what you all were. That time I did it so clearly. We did this multi-threading.
Vector. Yes, sir.
S1 object for a parallel. This is a vector object. Only one thread is allowed. Synchronized. See, there is a father and a son, and the son is coming to meet his father at home. Okay. So at the entrance of the, and while coming, he has got the best oranges. Okay. So there were, let's say, best oranges. Let's say New Zealand produce good oranges. So on the way home, he stopped at a grocery store or at a departmental store and bought the best oranges and very costly oranges. Let's say $100 per kg. Okay, that's around 8,000 rupees per kg. Very costly oranges they are. So for his father, he bought entire crate of 25 kg crate. He bought. That's how much. How much did he spend? He spent 2 lakh rupees on the oranges only, and he's getting them in his car, and his servant is carrying the crate behind him. As he's trying to enter the father's house, he is entering, and a doctor is coming out. They both bump into each other. So he is entering the house, and the doctor is exiting the house. So they both bump into each other at the entrance, and he says, "Doctor, how come you are here?" So he says, "Your father had called me. He has upset stomach, so I had come to visit him and make sure that he doesn't eat any solid food. He doesn't chew anything. Okay. So keep him on liquid diet for a week, and then I will come again to monitor him next week." Now what this son does is that I bought so nice oranges for him, and he's not able to chew and eat. So he looks for a nearby dustbin and he dumps all these oranges into the dustbin. So is he wise or unwise? Is the son wise or is he otherwise?
Sir, voice.
Why?
Because sir, New Zealand is so far.
Arey,
Does.
yes. Farooq, did you get the question? Amir, if I get an Italian shoe in Pune, did it mean that I went to Italy to buy the shoe?
No, 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 no. Got it. I think he bought the grocery from
On the grocery store, he bought it, right? Which are made
grocery store. Yes, sir.
produce of New Zealand. He did not go to New Zealand to buy.
I thought, sir. Sorry, sir.
So, is he a wise son or unwise son? Tamara, did you get the question?
I can't hear you because का कुछ जिससे वो network issues है sir. तो ना sound is like
I can hear you clearly. You'll just dump your whatever excuse on the internet, right? Very easy way of getting, just dump it on the internet. Anything happens, internet issue, internet issue. I don't think so. A manager will be impressed if you start giving such excuses to him. So isn't there a appliance in the kitchen called as juicer. What could he have done? He could have extracted juice of those oranges and then served it to his father. That would be a liquid diet. So my question is, what does this appliance juicer do? What does this appliance juicer do? How does it work? You feed it a fruit or whatever, and it will give you the juice. Simple mechanism it works in. So if I feed it orange, what will it give me?
Orange juice.
And if I feed it apple,
Apple juice. You will get apple juice. Yeah.
so do I need to buy a different juicer for each fruit?
No, sir.
So I feed it apple, it gives me apple juice, correct?
Yes.
So like this in Java, we have like a juicer, we have a method called as toString. Called as, what is the method name?
ToString.
ToString. ToString is just like works on the principle of the juicer. You give the ToString a reference. You give the ToString a
Reference.
like student S1 is new student. What is the reference over here?
S1.
And it will give you the string representation of that. It will give you the
String representation.
string representation of that object. So SOP wants data in which format? SOP wants data in which format?
Integer
SOP
string.
wants in string format, right?
Yes, sir. String format. Correct.
It wants in string format. I am giving it in which format? Reference format.
Yes.
So I need some mechanism which can convert this reference to a string.
Yes, sir.
So who does that for me?
ToString.
ToString. So you go to your class of whose reference it is. So this S1 is of whose reference? S1 is which class's reference?
Student.
So you go to your student class and here you override the ToString function. Why am I saying override? Why not create? See, if I write over here public void area, am I overriding or creating this function?
Creating, sir.
Why creating?
Because area is not
It's a new function, right?
new function.
But why? But the ToString function I am saying override. Why am I overriding it? Why do
Because
we
it
say override?
convert the
Hmm?
string format, convert into string format.
Yeah,
That's the reason is override.
So when do we override? When do we override the function? Now, this is the most elementary question ever asked in the interview. And if you are struggling with that, I'll have to pause the training over here. So I say I am going to override this ToString function. What does this mean when I say override?
That means we have same method in parent class and in subclass. So
this is what you will answer in the interview. When I say override means in my parent class,
Message is removed and it shows a new message or value shows string type. Hello.
Am I audible? I just lost.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. You're audible.
when I say
So,
override,
sir,
what?
hmm. Override means remove
You have the same function with
parents
the same name
class.
and same signature in the
Yes.
parent class also. But there is no parent class to student. It is not extending from anyone. Now,
Remove it. Previous method removes and it shows a new
but where
one, sir.
am I overriding? There is no extends over here. Student class is not extending from any other class. So how it is overriding?
Okay, there's no need to a parent class. It's directly to override a string is not convert to string is convert into string method. That's the reason we called a
No, I am not asking about what it is doing. I am not asking about
mm,
what it is doing. I'm asking about
mm.
this keyword override. Why am I saying I am overriding the toString? When do we override is my question.
To string is a inbuilt method in Java.
In which class?
Uh, I think
I just did that.
collection or
I just did
uh,
that today morning. I just did that today morning. I mentioned, oh yeah,
yes,
see,
object
very
class.
first method I wrote, yeah,
Yes, sir, yes, object
the
class. You're
object
right,
class.
sir. Sorry.
Is the student class inheriting from the object class? Is the student class inheriting from the object class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All classes inherit from the object class, right?
Object
So
class.
by
Yes,
virtue
sir.
of that, does the student class have override, has the toString method or not? It has, right? It has inherited.
Yes.
So it has inherited also, and it is giving its own also. So what it is doing? By virtue of inheritance, it has inherited the function also, plus it is giving its own signature also. So what it is doing?
Return string.
I am not asking about that. I am asking about override. I am asking about what override does. I am telling that there is a class called father, and the class father has a car, public void car, and that father has a car Audi, and then there is a class called as son, which extends from the father.
Okay, to it
Extends.
display whole the value of
My example is not
student
complete
class.
yet. So
Okay,
now,
sorry.
does the son have the car class, car method? Does the son have? So if I make object of the son S is new son. Can I call the car method from the object S dot car? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
How is it possible?
Because son is inherited the property of father.
So this method has come to this class by virtue of inheritance, correct?
Yes, correct, sir.
By virtue of inheritance has got this. But now if the son also says that I want my own car also, now what is the son doing over here?
Override.
Was my question. What is the son doing?
It's override the
So what
Override.
is
Parents.
overriding? I'm asking. So what does overriding do?
OD to BMW.
No, I'm asking what does override do? Override means if you make a function with the same name and same signature in the child class, and function with the same name and same signature is already existing in the parent class, and still you want to make a function with the
Yes, sir.
same name and same signature in the child class, then that time you do overriding, right?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Right.
So my question over here is, why did I say that I am overriding toString? This was my question.
Okay. So here we write roll number, string name, and parent
No,
percentage
I'm not talking
is
about
it
the content. I am not talking about the content. You don't go in the content as of now. My question is, why am I saying that I am overriding toString? See, am I overriding the area function? Will I say override the area function? Will I say this sentence?
No,
Why no?
because you're creating a new function.
Because we are creating a new function. Correct.
Yes, sir.
But why am I saying that I'm overriding the toString function? Because every class in Java extends from which class internally?
object class?
Do I have to write this, or it takes it internally?
There's
Do I have to
no
write this?
need to write. There's no need to write object
But it is
class.
happening in the background, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
does the object class not have toString function with the same name, same argument?
Yes, sir.
And I'm also making it in the child class also.
Yes.
So am I not overriding?
Overriding.
You didn't understand, still not understood.
Yes, sir. ToString it's already in object class and
Yes.
you using it
Which is the parent class of
parent
student.
class student. Yes.
Which is the parent class of student.
Yes.
So even that function is in the parent class also, and with the same name and same signature.
Same
I'm
signature,
writing the function in the child class also.
child
What
class
am I doing?
also. Overriding.
Oh.
Sorry, override.
Overriding. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Got it.
Nabana,
Yes, sir.
this was what I was trying to explain. So now you override, and then whatever you want to put in this, you override. So I will say roll number is
Yes.
roll
Plus
number,
R number. Yes.
name is. So I will return this full string. Roll number is roll number. Name is S name, and percentage is so when will this toString function be called? It will be called automatically whenever there will be a need. Whenever there will be a need of converting the object to a string. So is there a need of converting object to a string?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because
Yes, sir.
println
Yes,
wants
sir.
it in which format,
String format.
and I am giving it in which format.
Reference
So now who converts reference to string?
ToString.
String.
So it will go and check whether the student class has overridden the toString function. Has it overridden the toString function?
Yes, sir.
It will call this function. And what will it return?
Return roll number, name,
Roll
and
number, name,
percentage.
and percentage.
And
Yes.
of whose of S1? So what is S1 roll number? What is S1 roll number?
111.
111.
Name is
Name is
Virat.
Virat, and
Percentage
percentage
is
98.
98.
understood.
Yes, sir.
So that is what toString function is doing. Getting?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So now if
Got
I
it.
remove this and uncomment all this, and now if I say first, now what will it display me?
Then it display only.
First is the reference, right?
Yes, reference.
Yes.
It is
So
giving me this object.
Only hash code.
So it will give no, but first is the object of which class?
Student.
student class.
So in the student class, have I not overridden the toString function?
String to string.
I have overridden the toString function, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Then why will it display hash code?
Okay, okay. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. You
It will
did.
display the object. Which one?
Object.
Getting it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's the reason is necessary to write a
Yeah,
toString
and
method
here also
here.
see. So here also when I said I display M and M100, so it displayed me key and value. But now the value has a toString function. It is displaying me roll number is this is getting.
Yes, sir.
So toString function will convert the hash code to the
String.
string form. You have to override the toString and you can give whatever implementation you want to give. So I gave this implementation. If I would just say return hi, return what? So what would it do? So
It's
whenever
only print a hi.
print hi for everyone. Third hi,
Yes, sir.
hi and second also hi, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because it will just return that string. Getting
Yes, sir.
the difference? So try to practice, guys. That the day by day difficulty level will increase. And I will not shy away from giving reviews. I will give review on merit. So if someone asks me about a particular candidate, I will be very blunt and very cold in giving the review, like it or not. And it's only 2 people who are doing justice to the course as per my understanding. Others haven't convinced me yet. They convince me, I will change my verdict. But till date, till the 23rd of September, 11 a.m. IST, this is my standing that from this batch, only 2 people are satisfactorily progressing. Rest have to pull up their socks. We'll have to sweat out and we'll have to put in the hard work. And I don't understand what is their target and what are they expecting from this course. I'm really not able to grasp and wrap my hand around other guys' performances. Neither are they submitting the assignments on time. Amir, what is your issue? Why aren't you submitting the assignments? Network problem?
No, sir.
Dump everything on the internet, no, Amir? Dump all your excuse on the internet. You've got such a beautiful way to escape.
No, sir. Sir, I will complete assignment soon and I will send you.
Which assignment? You still haven't submitted as a third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Shabana has submitted the 7th assignment also.
Yes. I have a word with you after tomorrow, sir. I will tell you.
Okay. So the same feedback I'm going to share with the management. Same. So if you all have any concerns, you all can talk to them. So that I guess okay, this is on air. We will discuss it offline.
Class is over. I hope class is over.
Over.